Blogger Neda Amin left her country for Turkey back in 2014, and after freelancing for several publications, including the Times of Israel Persian, she says her life was in danger. Neda ended up here in Israel, where she's been living for the past 5 months. I caught up with her earlier on her story and the anger directed at the regime in her country. Neda Amin, thank you very much for taking the time.
Thank you so much. Thank you too.
So, over the course of this week of protest across Iran, have you heard from Iranians back home?
I hope this time Iranian people can to changing this regime, and every Iranian that's living to every country coming back to home, and me too. Because this protest, it's very important, and it's different about 8 years ago.
Than 2009?
Yes, 2009. 2009, Iranian people want to editing everything in government. But now, Iranian people want to changing regime.
The regime, do you mean the supreme leader as well?
The regime, Iran's dictatorist government, because Iranian don't accepting this regime, because Iranian don't accepting this government and don't want this government, because Iran's government is a dictatorist government, dictatorist Islamic government that's giving pressure to people. Social, financial pressure, social, political, and psychological pressure to people. And people really tired from this dictatorist government. Look, following this protest in Iran, more 1,000 people arrested with soldiers in government, and 22 people killed.
So I want to ask you,
it's very terrible.
The people, the regime says also today that the people who have been arrested will pay a high price. From what you know, what happens to Iranians who protest?
What's happened Iranian to protest? I said Iranian people came to the street and sing to Khamenei, Rouhani, and every political man that's working in Iran's regime. We don't want yours. We don't want Khamenei, we don't want Rouhani, and we don't want this regime. We want change.
So you started the group Iranian Embassy in Jerusalem. You've been here about 5 months, I think.
Yeah.
What is your message? What is this group, and what is your message to Iranians at home?
Yeah, we make this group, me and my one Iranian friends and 2 Israeli friends. We want to send a message to Iranian and Israeli people. We want to make a friendship together. Many years ago, many 1,000 years ago, we lived together and we was together. But when Iranian's government came to Iran, everything is different.
After the revolution.
After revolution, yes, everything is broken. But we want to say Iranian and Israeli people love them and want to have a peace together.
So, Neda, you have an incredible story. You've been living in Israel for 5 months, I believe.
Yes, 5 months.
After leaving Iran in 2014. What has your experience, what is your life like in Israel?
I living here. I'm alive. Thanks God, Baruch Hashem. I'm alive, and I continue my work to protesting to Iran's government, and everything that I can do about Iran's government. like when I was Iran and when I was Turkey. Now I continue my articles, and I have an article too now for supporting Iranian.
Do you feel safe in Israel?
Yeah, I'm safe here. Iran's government can't touch me, and I'm safe now. But I want to say about this protest that yesterday I made in Jerusalem, and want to continue in Tel Aviv where next week in Wednesday. I want to say to all of the world from Iranian, I'm voice Iranian from Israel, and I want to say to all the world, I'm Iranian like every Iranian, and we don't want Iran's dictatorial regime. We want freedom, we need freedom, we need free life, and we want coming back to my home, free Iran. And please join us in Wednesday, 4 o'clock in Tel Aviv for protesting to Iran's dictatorial government regime.
All right, with that message, Iranians protesting the Iranian regime in Tel Aviv.
Yeah, it's a message for every Iranian and every Israelis living here and loved Iran.
All right, with that message, we'll end here. Neda Amin, thank you very much for being with us.
You're welcome. Thank you too.
And Kalev, after that message, she says, we love Iran. Iranians and Israelis can live closely together. She also mentioned to me that Iranians love President Trump and love Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu based on their apparent hardline approaches. I'm not sure how many Iranians she speaks for, but that was her take.
I don't know, but I do know that there are going to have to be some serious changes in Iran for Neda to go back and see her homeland, but which, of course, hopefully that will happen.
Certainly, and she can't talk to her family these days at all. So.